Welcome, guys. Welcome. We'll just wait for a few minutes here before we get started. Um, Drew and George, if I can just get you guys to do a quick mic check, please, that would be great.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
And how about me?
Yep. Sounding good too. Awesome.
Perfect. Good day, everyone.
Good day, guys. We'll just wait for a few more people to join, and I'm sure more and more will join as we go through the AMA. But yeah, let's just wait a couple of minutes here. Drew and George, are you guys ready to share your screen, or do you need some time? Or
Actually working on that now.
all right, yeah, looks good. Looking
Peace.
good.
Yeah.
And, yep, looks fine. I think there's a blur on the screen right now. It says click to exit full screen. That's what I'm seeing, but it was fine a minute ago.
Okay, hold on one second here.
Yeah, now it's fine.
Okay, we may have to just run it like this. It doesn't like presentation piece.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. We can get started, I suppose, now, and I think more people will start rolling in. So I'm just going to do a quick intro, and then I suppose, Drew, you're going to be speaking first, right?
That is correct, yes.
All right. Awesome. Is George going to be speaking at all, by the way, just so I know, or is it just you?
Yes.
Nope.
I will see a bit later after Drew.
All right. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, let me start the recording here. Just a second. Yep. All right. Should be rolling now. All right. Welcome, guys. Thank you all for joining, for those who joined. And for those who will be listening in later, thanks for listening as well. So today we have an update slash kind of catch up AMA with Milestone Millions. For those who are not familiar, Milestone Millions are our second partner project on the Bitrock chain. They launched, God knows, I think probably around 2 months ago at this point or so, and maybe give or take, and are the first rewards project on Bitrock chain, at least first official rewards project on the Bitrock chain. They will be introducing their project a little bit more in just a second here. But we're very excited to have them. We've had them a couple of times already on an introduction AMA. We've also had them on a previous, probably one or two previous update AMAs as well. They're continuing to build, market up, market down. They're continuing to build, and 2 months strong is something to be very proud of. So first of all, congratulations to you guys on continuing to build and deliver to not just your holders, but the chain overall. And yeah, we're joined today by Drew and George from their team. So Drew has a presentation that he's going to be using for today, and also have some updates that he wants to share. But maybe we can just start with, for those who may not be familiar, we can start with maybe a quick introduction on what Milestone Millions is. what you guys have been up to recently, and especially the miner partnership that you guys are going to be elaborating on today, and what you guys have in the pipeline later as well. So, Drew, welcome. Happy to have you, mate. And the floor is yours. Go for it.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome. It's always a pleasure to be here with the Bitrock community, presenting something new. I'm actually turning it over to George for a brief introduction about what Milestone Millions is and where we're going. And then we'll get right into the crux of today's AMA and talk about Green Grower and the exciting things ahead of that and where that's going. And then we'll circle back and have some opportunities to answer any questions and talk a little bit more about Milestone Millions.
Awesome. George, the floor is yours, buddy.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for the nice intro. Yes, hello from my side. I'm George from Milestone Millions. Basically, I would like to focus for now to present a new partnership with the Labs. The Labs is a company that we have recently partnered with to develop several applications and games and functions, just as this miner. I would like to, proceed with presenting this miner and why we decided to do that on the Bitrock chain. Why we believe is a good addition to the chain and could bring some hype, since all of the chains have a miner. So why not us? And after that, at the end of the presentation, then I will share some exciting news about Milestone Millions, what we are working on, because actually this is one of the minor steps that we have in our roadmap. Let's call it like that, and there are some exciting news to share with you all at the end of this AMA. So please bear with us, like we quickly go through the mine and how it works, and I will update you. Back to Drew.
Thank you, George. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about Green Grower, one of the first miner games on the Bitrock blockchain. This is being brought to you with a partnership between the Labs and Milestone Millions. This is actually the brainchild of the Labs, and they're the developers behind the contract. And through our partnership with Labs, we're looking to are partnering with them for several of components that we're looking to build out as part of the Milestone Millions project. And we thought, what a great opportunity to bring something to the Bitrock chain. A lot of this has to do with hype. We're trying to get eyes on Bitrock, certainly eyes on us as Milestone Millions Labs as well. This is something, like George had said, it's present on a lot of chains, has the opportunity to bring a lot of eyes on. There's a lot of hype around it, and we thought, what better opportunity than to bring that into Bitrock. So here we are. For those of you who don't, who haven't been a part of miners and the miner game that we're bringing here, it is a smart contract that has been deployed on the Bitrock chain. It's actually launched just like other project contracts. It has its own contract address. You access, it's not tradable through like RockSwap. You actually access and interact with the contract through the DApp on your wallet and access a website that way. Basically, with miners, everything has to do with what we refer to as a TVL, a total value locked pool. And basically, what's happening is users who are interacting with the miner game are depositing Brock into the contract. The Brock will remain in the contract. This is not like staking. Once you deposit Brock, and we'll talk about the process here in just a couple minutes, but that Brock would remain in the contract and is utilized to feed rewards, which and profit, which we're going to get to. From that aspect, it's different from staking, where you stake for instance, you stake Brock, you can earn rewards, and then you can bring that initial stake back. This doesn't operate like that. You deposit Brock, you're going to buy seeds, and then from those seeds you generate a reward / profit, which we'll talk about strategies in a minute and how to maximize those profits and so on. And then you can actually withdraw those profits as part of the game. Some of you may be familiar, or some of you might not be familiar. Some of the larger miner type contract games that are out there. Baked Beans a couple of years ago was very big on the Binance Smart Chain. Some of the pools, the total value locked for some of these contracts has exceeded in the millions of dollars. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity with that. BNB miner is one that's out there. It's actually probably one of the longer ones that's running. If you've been following our Telegram, there's been a little discussion about that. I think BNB miner has been running for just over 3 years now, and follows these miners tend to follow the cycles, just like many other projects in crypto. They will increase as runs come on, and certainly we're right at the cusp of, I think everybody's waiting for when things are going to take off. We hope that being on a new chain like Bitrock, Bitrock supporters supporting this miner from the get-go gives everybody sort of an early opportunity to get in, and everyone can sort of ride that wave up. So if you get a chance and you want to know more about miners, be sure to check out a couple of these examples. Why a miner game and why Bitrock? Well, they exist on all major chains, and Bitrock is certainly, we are trying to scale Bitrock to be one of the major chains, if not the major chain out there. I think everyone is optimistic that certainly us here from Milestone Millions is doing our part to ensure that we're spreading that word and getting that adoption out there. So it exists on all major chains, needs to exist on Bitrock. Bitrock is ideal chain for this because of the near zero gas fees. And part of the game involves compounding, and with compounding, there's gas fees to reinvest that. And on some of the other chains where gas fees are higher, some of the investors tend to lose profit to the chain itself, to the gas fees, to interacting with your wallet in those transactions. So here, near zero gas fees make this optimal for people to really work in their strategies on how they want to play this game, and what your strategy is going to be to optimizing profit from that perspective. The other thing too, there's a huge fan bases that tend to follow these miners. Some people are really into miners. Everyone sort of has their own likes in the crypto space, and there's a huge group of following that follow these miners. Take a look at Baked Beans and the BNB miner system. Thousands of members in their Telegram groups and Twitters and so on. We're trying to attract many of those onto the blockchain. That's our ultimate goal here. We all benefit. The more eyes we can get, and the more people we can bring in, interact with both ecosystems, both Milestone Millions and all the other projects that are on chain, including Bitrock itself as the parent chain here. The more people we bring in, the better it is for all of us. And we're bringing this to the Bitrock community first before we start scaling this out to other communities, because we are loyal to the Bitrock community, and we want our initial early OG holders here to be part of these big things that are coming. So the more interaction we have, the better traction we get. We talked about the total value lock. This is probably one of the most important numbers that is involved with miners, is what and how much is actually locked in the contract time, because that dictates what's available to pay rewards. It also dictates how many seeds you can purchase, and all of these things play into the strategies of maximizing output. At the time this presentation was made, the total value locked in the green grower contract was right around 76, just under 76,000 Brock, which is a sizable amount of Brock to be in the contract. And it's from this number here where all of the rewards are driven. As people enter into the green grower contract and are purchasing seeds, which we'll talk about in a second here, this number will grow. And as this number grows, so does all of the things that go along with the contract in terms of rewards as well. So just as a general overview of what green grower is, it's a rewards miner contract. It averages a daily return of up to 10%. It runs on a locked reward pool, meaning that Brock deposited, and they remain locked in that contract, and they pay rewards over time. So you put your Brock in, it becomes locked as part of the contract, and then over time, you earn profits based on what the green grower contract is doing, how many people are interacting with it, and so on. Rewards can vary. We talked about the total value that's locked. Number of seeds you have is a big thing, and we're going to talk about compounding and how to get more seeds, because that's a key piece of this as well. And then there's other factors that are built into the algorithm within the contract that will adjust based on both the total value locked as well as users, what users are doing. So if people are compounding more and more, those users are getting rewarded because their seeds are growing. They have a higher number of seeds, they have a higher number of rewards. If someone is withdrawing excessively from the contract and they're not growing their seeds, then the contract will adjust and will sort of reallocate those significant rewards to the people that are growing their seeds. So it moves based on the algorithm within the contract. So how to use it, how to get into it. There's some basics. So pretty much the basics are you can access this through MetaMask and Trust Wallet. I think everyone that's in our Telegram group right now has successfully accessed both ways through MetaMask and Trust Wallet. You need to have Brock. This is on Bitrock's mainnet, so you need to have Brock in your wallet to be on the Bitrock mainnet. You access the game through the DApp browser by simply copying and pasting the address for the website into the browser, and connect your wallet, and you can play. I'm going to go through the steps in detail here in a second, but in simple steps, you're basically planting seeds. It's a green grower concept. You're planting seeds, you're feeding the seeds, you're growing the plants, and you're selling the crop. So planting seeds, you're buying into the game, the miner. Then from there, you can feed the seeds. So this is you're growing your plants, compounding the profits that you make, and you'll see what that looks like in a second. And then ultimately, you can sell the crop and withdraw mainnet Brock right straight back into the wallet that you connected with. So for this example, we're going to look at accessing through MetaMask. So basically, you can send in your MetaMask. You can copy and paste, and we'll provide the link to the Telegram where you get information to copy and paste the web address in. It's pinned in our Telegram group, and we'll make sure that that's posted. Please only use the pin link initially, and then we'll talk. There's some referrals that come off of this. But basically, you have that link, access your MetaMask. Again, you need to have Brock in your wallet. For this demo, I have a gigantic amount of Brock, of 26 Brock in there. But basically, you have Brock in your wallet. You access through the app browser. So you'd click on your browser. You can paste in the Green Grower website, and you'll basically come up to the app screen that looks just like this with our Green Grower. From there, there's a spot to connect your wallet. So you would click on Connect Wallet. Again, you have the option depending on what you're using, Wallet Connect or MetaMask, whether you're in Trust Wallet or MetaMask. It pops up, the Connect account. You have to give permission, obviously, for the app to connect to your wallet. So you'd click Connect. And once you've connected, it will show you some information. And you'll get a screen that looks very similar to this. So here is the total weight of the contract. So this is in the kilograms, total weight in kilograms. It's actually representative of the number of Brock. So at the time that this presentation that I took these screenshots, there was just under 76,000 Brock in there. It will tell you how much Brock you have in your wallet if you want to, what's available for you to put into the Green Grower contract if you'd like. And then if you have any seeds. Now, if this is the first time you're investing into the Green Grower miner, you won't have any seeds. This will be zero. I did purchase a few seeds prior to doing this, so I do have some seeds here. It gives you option buttons on what you want to do. And then down here, there's a portion that talks about the profit made. So I initially had purchased 105 seeds, so I've already earned a profit of about 3/4 of a Brock just based on that piece. To get into the game, basically you're buying seeds, and you can enter however many seeds you want in the box here. So in this case, I have 26 available. I'm going to buy 25 Brock's worth of seeds. I would enter 25, and then my option would be to plant seeds. That's the initial portion. You'll get another MetaMask message that will pop up to confirm that you want to send however many Brock to the Green Grower contract. You would confirm that. After you do that, the transaction will go through. You'll get the other pops to say that the transaction is going through and completed. At that point, you can reload the page. Encourage every time after you make a transaction, reload the page. You will see the amount of seeds that you purchased based on the number of Brock that you put in. There's no fixed amount of seeds. The number of seeds that you get really fluctuates with the total volume locked. The total value locked. If the value is low, you get more seeds. If the value is high, you get less seeds. But in this case, 25 Brock purchased just over 100 seeds. And then it also compounded my profits I had made. And you see the profit is down because it compounded the profits along with what I was putting in to buy these seeds. But essentially the profit, every time you make a transaction, whether you're planting seeds or compounding or selling, this will reset to zero and start back all over again, depending on what you're doing. So that's getting in. And you have a number of seeds. Then there's other options to feed or compound or sell. And after, again, you've accessed your wallet, we're going to talk about strategies here in a second. But if I want to feed, basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the profits that I've made down here in Brock, and when I click on feed or compound, it's going to take whatever profits I have here. Some of you who've been in here have already been talking about the Telegram group. When you compound, you press compound, it will take this amount and purchase the number of seeds that correspond to what your profit is. It will add to the seed count that you have up here. So some strategies are to compound, because you're trying to grow that seed count, because the more seeds you have, the greater profit that you make. The other option is to sell the green. And basically what you're doing is, if I have a number of Brock here and I want to sell, I would click sell. It's going to immediately the transaction on the Bitrock blockchain and put the corresponding Brock from that transaction directly back into the MS wallet that's connected. Any profits that are taking from here come from the overall total weight. So people are like, why is the total weight this one day? Why is the total weight this another day? It really depends on what the users are doing, whether users are inputting Brock into the contract, taking Brock out of the contract. It fluctuates like from that aspect. So, and again, I always emphasize that you should reload your page after every time you make a contract. The page doesn't automatically reload, so I don't want anyone to get nervous that after they do a feed and they're waiting there and you see your seed count's not rising. Please come down here, reload the page. You will the seed count rise, or if you're doing a sell, you will see things reset from that by reloading the page. This is a game, and it's all about a game of strategy and optimizing profits you make. We suggest as a contract just how one of the best ways to maximize your rewards is the 5-6-1 strategy, which basically means that you compound your profits over 6 days and use your rewards on one day. That's certainly one strategy. One of the things is to maintain the longevity of this contract and for everyone to have fun and profit from this. It's important to not be too greedy in the taking, because one, the contract will eventually adjust for that and reduce your rewards if you're taking too much. But it's all about longevity in terms of making this miner last and having everyone that's a part of the community maximize the profits. Again, this is just one strategy. Some people might recommend hyper compounding. Hyper compounding is where you can compound multiple times. Some are doing that. One of the benefits on the Bitrock blockchain is the low gas fees, so you can do that. Unlike if you were doing it on BSC or something like that, where gas even more, and certainly ETH, could be higher for those miners that are out there. And people in our Telegram group are working on that and trying different things. All the secrets of the contract not out, and there's different ways that you can optimize the output, and it's really playing around and finding that works for you and your comfort level. And we always encourage people to try different things, see what's working for you, talk about it in the community. I know a lot of people are trying to figure out, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, which is great. It's community interaction. This is a big community project, and we want people to have those interactions. But then there's an aspect of being a little secret and not showing all of your cards to all your fellow community members either. And as you are trying to figure out what your best strategy is. I mentioned community. There's benefits built into this contract that we call referral benefits. There's, as part of this DF, as you scroll down, this screen, if you scroll down more on the website, you'll see information about the yields and so on. But one of the aspects here talks about a referral link. And this is a referral bonus that people can earn directly from the contract by referring other people and having them get into the contract using your own personal referral link. So everyone who's participating in the game, who has paid in initially and bought a seed, doesn't matter how many seeds you buy, if you've entered the game, you get a referral link unique to you that's generated, and you can go out and spread that word around, put it in your socials, try to encourage people to come in and utilize that referral link, and you will directly receive into your profits within the game. You'll receive a 10% bonus that's paid from the TVL pool. So you can choose to do whatever you want with those with that 10%. Many people choose to recompound that directly back in to increase your number of seeds, but certainly that's up to you what you do with that. The idea is that we want to encourage people to spread the word, and we want people to earn from that as they do. Several people, even within our own Telegram group right now, as we're just starting out, have earned a significant number of Brock by encouraging people to utilize their referral link. We kindly ask that people don't share their referral links in our Telegram group, whether it be Milestone Millions or in the Green Grower Telegram group itself. We want people to go out. There's a community link that's linked to the Telegram group, but we want to really encourage people to go out and spread the word and market this elsewhere, because the whole goal of this is to get eyes back on Bitrock. And the more we can go out and take this to socials and get people to hear about Bitrock and the Bitrock blockchain and the great communities that we have here, the more eyes we bring in. And it's a key aspect to this. So take this referral link, go out, push it out there, but please refrain from doing it within the Green Grower Telegram group. I just want to touch basically on a quick disclaimer, because we have to get that in. These are risky games. We want people to play responsibly. Certainly, it's a high-risk game, but it also comes with the potential for high rewards, and we want people to really understand that. Please don't put anything into this miner that you can afford. Everyone has a comfort level and a risk level. Please know your comfort level and risk level when you're getting into this game. Do your research and play responsibly. So that brings us to the end of Green Grower. I want to thank everyone, and I hope everyone plays responsibly. It's definitely a fun game. I've actually been in. I'm in Green Grower here. I've been in a number of other miner projects myself. They can earn a significant amount. And when you start looking around, especially with what the BNB miners did and so on, and look at some of their charts from the past bull runs. I know BNB miner went through 2 separate bull runs, now both in the millions. There's a lot of potential here. I encourage everyone to play responsibly and have fun. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to George.
Thanks a lot, Drew, for the explanation. I think you can stop sharing your screen now. From my side, I would like to emphasize that we basically brought this as an effort, as Drew said, to bring some more eyes to Bitrock, to make people familiar and investors familiar with the Bitrock ecosystem, how you can buy Brock, where can you get them. So I think it can only benefit the community. If you go into these miner groups, you see how active they are and how they're always looking for the next big thing, and for also for other chains. So therefore, the timeline for now, to give you a bit of perspective on what we're working on. Basically, the timeline for this miner is that we initially presented this to Milestone Millionaires, basically to our own channel, and then directly we announced this to the Bitrock community to give a small head start, let's say. So we are planning for this week actually to give the opportunity to all Bitrockers to join before on the beginning of next week we go to all these other miner communities and people that are really looking to join these miners and advertise it there. That's the plan for now. So still this week, everyone from here and from listening to this AMA, then you have this the opportunity to get in early, as do explain the earlier the better for the amount of seeds that you get, and therefore for the potential rewards that you could have. Yeah, and with that being said, I know that Procrastinator likes to keep this efficient. Before we close or before we head to all of you for questions, I will just like to mention about Milestone Millions. This is only the beginning for us. We really wanted to do something to eyes on Bitrock, and our next basically our next admin is next step is to launch a gaming platform of soon you will notice a complete redesign of our website and of our socials to be matched with a gaming platform that is coming. At this point, cannot really give out any more details, but this is just a small piece of what we are planning to deliver, and yeah, it's good that we have all of you around. I will give now the word to Procrastinator, maybe address to the community for any questions. We are here to answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. First of all, I mean, thanks, George, and thanks, Drew. That was really, I think, well put and intuitive presentation. So kudos on that. And I do have a few notes and possibly questions before we take it over to community question. So first of all, in terms of notes, I'm just going to quickly touch on the fact that George, you did mention that there's a kind of gaming platform, or you're going to be delving more into the gaming side of things, which is very exciting, I think, because that's something that excites a lot of people. And at the same time, it's a nice diversification of different utilities, not only to your project, but also bringing that to the chain itself. I think we're now kind of starting to, even though in terms of official projects or partner projects, we have a few. I think each of those projects is kind of doing quite a bit, or diving, or kind of dipping their feet into quite a few different niches and market areas and stuff like that. So good job on kind of considering taking that direction and pursuing it. I'm personally excited to see what you guys get up to in that area. And I know that you can't really speak much to that at the moment, so I'm just going to leave it there. And I also remember that you did mention there's more exposure planned for the miner as well, where, of course, Green Grower, I'm correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe Green Grower it existed before, and it kind of they deployed a contract on the Bitrock chain, but they've been active on other chains before that. Is that correct?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. The Green Grower has been deployed on other chains from that aspect. So,
all right, and how long roughly have they been running for in terms of on other chains previously, if you have that information?
I think on other chains they're just about a year and a half. I know I'm in one of the Green Growers on another chain that still produces yield. And it's been over a year. I have to probably guess that. Yeah.
All
And
right.
they have been quite successful, if I may add. That's why we basically approached them and basically wanted to bring this to Bitrock, because if this can be successful in other chains with higher fees, when you compound them on Bitrock, it can definitely be successful.
Yeah, I just think honestly, well, I think 76 Brock is definitely something that's pretty significant to start with, and I think it's only going to grow, especially with more exposure coming to it. But aside from that, and I want to emphasize this point, and of course, that's not a substitute for doing your own research and due diligence, and making sure that you look at whether this is something that's suitable for you or not as an opportunity. But I will say this: the fact that there's a lot of miners, baked beans and BNB. What was the other one? BNB miners is not. They're not the only miners on the market. There's been quite a few, and I think last year there, or maybe earlier this year, but definitely last year, there was quite a bit of a surge in miners that I've personally seen, because at the end of the day, I'm an investor just like everyone else. So there was a lot of hype about miners and stuff like that. And I know that there have been miners that have been uh, uh, around longer than that. But last year specifically, there was quite a bit of a surge in miners, and a lot of them turned out to be scams. A lot. Whether it's the website or the DApp going down, whether it's essentially your funds being locked forever and you not being able to retrieve them, whether there are simply no rewards, and so on and so on and so on. So there's a lot of different potential points where miners could turn scammy, and those are typically your 1 day, 2 day, 1 week old miners that never survive, or pull the rug, or whatever you want to call it, or whatever ends up happening. And basically, it's refreshing to see that you guys have partnered up with a partner that has had that longevity in the miner area. So again, that's not, of course, a substitute for doing your own research and diligence and so on. But at the same time, you do know that there has been some preliminary, and I kind of use that word a bit loosely, because I know you guys, as the Milestone Millions team, have done quite a bit of that in terms of research and diligence on who you want to work with. But I want to make sure that people understand that they still need to do their own research. But at the same time, it is comforting at the very least to know that in terms of a partner that you're working with for this endeavor, essentially, that you actually have someone who has had longevity in the market. It's not someone who just kind of came along one day very recently and said, you know what, I'm just going to deploy this on the Bitrock chain and see how things work out. They've actually been doing it on other chains previously, and this is simply an addition to the chains they work on. So right now it's on the Bitrock chain, it's on other chains as well. I'm personally not too knowledgeable about what other chains they're active on, but I'm sure they're active on some other pretty big chains as well. And so that side of things is kind of a little bit more comforting or secure. And of course, you guys being a partner project as well is obviously a huge plus. So with miners in general, yes, there are of course people who kind of drift towards that kind of thing, whether it's this or staking different people, different flavors, whatever. So this is a really nice addition, in my opinion, to the chain and the diversity of things that you can do on the chain. So it's not just about kind of the primary core token that is underlying your project or any other project on the chain, partner or not. It is also about the utilities and different ways that you can earn your passive income. So this is something that I wanted to make sure I emphasize, because I do feel it has huge value that people need to know about. So that's one thing, and it brings a lot of credibility. Sorry about that. It brings a lot of credibility to your to kind of the platform and the DApp itself. And of course, with that said, I do appreciate you guys taking the initiative on forming that partnership and having this something that is viable on the chain as well. Of course, great presentation. I think the DApp itself is it's quite intuitive. It's not too hard to use, and the buttons are, you did cover what each button is for and so on. And the presentation will be available to everyone who wants to either to refer back to it or who wasn't able to tune in and can check it later on. I think one of the nice things in the contract of the miner is that it has this kind of smart, quote unquote, smart adjustment mechanism, essentially, where if it's someone who aggressively kind of takes out their rewards or their Brock and so on, it kind of adjusts based on that. And that's, I think, something that's pretty important to make sure that the miner itself and the mechanism remains viable for everyone who's investing in it as well. Now, a few questions for you guys, and maybe the community would have those questions as well, so I'm kind of just preempting that. But is there a specific kind of advantage for people getting in early? Is it the fact that they can continue to accrue rewards for longer because you get in early, so you've been in it for longer than other people have, which technically means more rewards than people who get in, say, a week from now? Or how does the early advantage work? And then the second question I had, so there's two questions to that question, and then the second one would be the block that you actually put in. Is there a locking period that, or essentially, if you eventually decide that you want to kind of take your block out of the miner, does that work? Yeah, so maybe we'll start with those two questions.
Sure, I can jump in on that. And just going back, to one of the things that you did mention, and Green Grower is operating on additional chains. We chose to specifically separate this out and just have it be unique in terms of our DApp and website and so on, just to the Bitrock chain, because part of this is to bring hype to Bitrock and so on. So right now, the Green Grower that we're presenting is just specific to the Bitrock chain, even though it resides on other blockchains as well. To answer your question about what happens with the block that you enter in, this is different than staking. Once you buy into the Green Grower contract, that block that you initially put in is locked into the contract essentially forever. The only way for you to get that block back would be to withdraw through the profit, the reward mechanism, to get that initial block that you had initially bought in with the seeds. So,
Gotcha.
To answer your first question, if I'm not mistaken, was the benefit of being early. Yes, there is a benefit of joining early because, yeah, as you said, when you get in early, you have more time to compound based on your daily rewards and then exponentially grow your seed number. Then eventually, once you reach a good position, let's say a good number of seeds, then you can enjoy the rewards. So if you start earlier, you can of course achieve that earlier. But also on top of that, to mention that smaller the TVL, so smaller the total amount of block locked into the contract, the higher the number of seeds that you are receiving for on your deposits. So again, one big motive to be early. That is exactly why we firstly announced that to Milestone Millions, almost the same time to the Bitrock official community in Telegram here. And that's why we really giving the opportunity now this week for Bitrockers to join before we really advertise this and hype this and so you can be early, basically.
That makes perfect sense, and I think this operates very essentially the same as any other miner or on any other chain. So what you said isn't anything new. I just wanted to clarify that to anyone who might be listening. And yes, I have also invested in miners before. I do have idea on them, very kind of on a surface level, but I have tried them, and yes, this is how they work. So essentially, when you're looking at, just for people to understand, you mentioned up to a 10%, what was it, 10% APY, or is it 10% per day, or what was it, 10% per what? Potentially up to,
it's potentially up to.
Sorry, Drew. Yes,
10% per day.
Okay.
Yeah, potentially up to 10% per day.
Okay, so if you're kind of looking at on the higher end, if it is actually, again, it's of course based on the TVL and the total value locked, and it's all based on how often you whether compound your rewards or withdraw them. If you kind of manage to maximize that, you're looking to potentially recoup your investment in 10 days, correct?
Yeah, that very much could be a strategy. Yes.
Yeah. So with that said, you're not kind of looking at a something that's, it's like you said, high risk, high reward, but at the same time, it is quite, and this is kind of to reiterate what you said, where it's quite different from staking, where staking, depending, I know, for example, right now for Bitrock on the ETH side, it's 10%, but per year, and it's 20% on the mainnet per year. Again, that's up to, depending again on if you compound, how often you compound, and so on. But that's staking, and that's a completely different mechanism than a miner. But again, if you kind of maximize that, so you could potentially recoup your investment in 10 days, which is actually not really a long period at all, relatively speaking, of course. And of course, it again depends on how much you put in and so on. But I think with the TVL eventually going up and up and up, then you're looking at potentially maybe higher APYs, or definitely you can at least purchase more seeds and so on and so on. So this is something that I think is very important to highlight. Now, with that said, my last question would be, how often are rewards accrued, or how often can you pay them out? Do you do it daily, once a day, or every 24 hours, or every 2 days, or how often does that happen?
So
Maybe I can, yeah, maybe I can take this one. Basically, from the moment you buy seeds, from the moment you're making a deposit, profit starts counting. You can just by reloading the page, you can see the profit made, and there is no limitation on the timeline that you can withdraw. Basically, you can draw 3 times a day. You wish to every minute of the day. Of course, that might not be the best strategy because, as we said, good strategy is to compound and basically increase your position. To yeah, for the longevity of the contract and for your own let's say personal profit sake, but there's no limitation in the contract at how many times you can withdraw.
Okay. And is that also the same for how often you compound your rewards? So you could, take out your rewards anytime, but you could also compound them anytime?
Exactly, you can command every 5 minutes if that's what you need to
Yeah.
do. And
It's all down to the strategy that you're employing. Essentially, it's up to the person, and of course, it's up to the people to decide if this is something that interests them. But definitely from a kind of longevity perspective, it kind of there's definitely some longevity in this, and this is evidence of the fact that not just green grower, but miners in general have been active on the chain for a good sorry, on the market for a good while. And I think, like you mentioned kind of briefly in your presentation, I think it was Drew, the hype on miners and also the TVL on miners fluctuates, whether you're in kind of a bull market, in a bear market, or whatever's in between, kind of mini bull run. So there's obviously going to be fluctuations. So things might go down in terms of TVL, or in terms of stagnate, or they might go up as well. But given where we are in terms of the kind of big picture market right now, it's definitely a great start. So I think kudos to you guys for setting this up, and looking forward to see where it goes. And basically, yeah, like you said, you guys have some further exposure plans for that coming up, so looking forward to those, and definitely appreciate you guys being with us today and the presentation as well. So with that said, I will maybe take one or two questions before we call it a day. So if anyone has a question for the Milestone Millions team about the miner and so on, just raise your hand. And of course, you can also join their Telegram channel, and you can also join the Green Grower channel. because you guys have two. There's two different channels for that, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. So whoever does have a question, or maybe you just wants to understand more, you guys can hop into their Telegram, whether it's the Green Grower Telegram or the Milestone Millions Telegram as well. And guys, remember that the Milestone project is not just about the miner. The miner is just a new addition to the kind of arsenal. And later on, they did announce some plans on the gaming side of things as well, which they will put out some more information on in due time. So if there aren't really much questions, we can then call it a day. And if you guys, if you guys
I
make
just
closing
wanna
statements, go for it.
Yeah, I just want to add one more thing that in the Green Grower Telegram, two devs from labs are very active in there. If anybody has specific questions about the contract itself, feel free to reach out to them. They're very active in that Telegram and would be happy to answer any additional questions. I know people get a little intimidated in this form, so feel free to reach out there. I want to thank everyone.
You're very welcome, George. Anything you want to add?
No, I will just thank you from my side. You always keep this AMAs efficient, less than 1 hour. So yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity that you gave us to speak here. And once more, maybe to highlight that this week, once again, is for the Bitrockers have the opportunity to maybe interact with this product early, and then from next week you might notice some hype going on as we push the other communities. Thank you very much.
Definitely. Yeah, you're very welcome, George. Thanks for joining us. I mean, the whole hour thing is not intentional. I'm not trying to cut this short. I'm sorry if you got the impression. If you want to go on for 2 hours, I'm more than happy to.
I also prefer efficient calls and MAAs, to be honest. I think we covered anyhow all the topics, so I would need more time anyhow. So.
Yeah, no worries at all. I mean, thank you guys. I think the presentation was very detailed, and we did have one person asking if it was going to be recorded, which it is. So that's going to be available in, I think, the Milestone Million Telegram, right? You're going to post that recording, or
we'll post the recording as well as the slide presentation for everyone.
Yeah, both video and audio have been recorded and they'll be posted, guys. So, like the guys said, there's going to be further exposure plans to push this further, and hopefully as well get the TVL up even more. And it's definitely off to a great start. So, the earlier you get in, it's very simple. The more rewards you can make because you'll be in it for longer. So with that said, I will end it here. So thank you guys for joining us, Paul. Paul, I just had eyes on Paul's name. Sorry. Hey, Paul. Sorry, my bad. Drew and George. And yeah, I will see you guys the recording over shortly. So I just stopped the recording. So yeah, thanks guys for great AMA and great presentation. I wish you guys all the best. Genuinely, it's, personally for me, on a personal note, it's I mention this in every AMA I have with another project on chain. It's really nice to see projects kind of having their own journeys on the chain and growing and adding more things to their arsenal and delving into different areas and different niches and adding to their utilities and partnerships as well, because this was a partnership endeavor at the end of the day. So excited to see what to come further for you guys, in addition to the growth of the green grower as well, pun intended. But yeah. With that said, I'll catch you guys hopefully in another update AMA at some point, maybe with news about your gaming side of things. And yeah, we'll catch you guys then. Have a great one, guys.
Super. Exciting. You too. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through.